Hey guys, it's Brittany. Today's topic is suicide. How to tell the warning signs and how to tell if somebody's just trying to get attention. Or, wait, I'm sorry, what's that called? Oh, and misconceptions of suicide. Okay, so this is to help you out there tell if somebody that you know or care about, or even somebody you don't care about, somebody you just happen to know, is thinking about committing suicide. Let's start with Let's start with the misconceptions about suicide. People who talk about suicide won't really do it. That's false. Anyone who tries to kill him/herself must be crazy. And if a person is determined to kill himself, nothing is going to stop them. People who commit suicide are people who are unwilling to seek help, and talking about suicide may give someone an idea. Now, those are all false. All of them. Every last one of them. Can you believe it? They're all false. Well, I can, because I'm a lot smarter than I let people know. Okay. Now, we're going to go down to the warning signs of suicide. Okay? Just so you out there will know. Alright, here you go. Talking about suicide. Any talk about suicide, dying, or self-harm, such as, I wish I hadn't been born, if I see you again, and I'd be better off dead, are signs that somebody might be thinking about committing suicide. Just saying. Seeking out lethal means. That means things like guns, pills, knives, and other objects that could be used in a suicide attempt. Okay, the third thing is preoccupation with death. Unuseful focus on death, dying, or violence. Writing poems or stories about death. Keep that in mind. The fourth sign is no hope for the future. Feeling so helpless, hopeless, and being trapped. Like there's no way out. Believe that things will never get better or change. Sign number 4. Sign number 5 is self-loathing or self-hatred. However you want to perceive that. My bad. Feelings of worthless guilt, shame, and self-hatred, feeling like a burden to everyone. Like everybody would be better off without you. Okay, the 5th sign, that's the 6th sign, getting affairs in order. Making out a will, giving away prized possessions, making arrangements for family members. Keep that in mind. The 7th sign is saying goodbye. Unusual or unexpected visits or calls to family or friends, saying goodbye to people as if they won't be seen again. Okay, that's true. The 8th sign is withdrawing from others. Withdrawing from friends and family, increasing social isolation, desire to be left alone. Now remember guys, just because somebody wants left alone doesn't mean that they're thinking of committing suicide. But if it's a continuous thing for somebody who especially is like really sociable and loves being around people, you might want to look into that. Let's see. The 9th sign is self-destructive behavior. Increased alcohol or drug use, reckless driving, unsafe sex, taking unnecessary risks as if they have a death wish. Now, just because somebody you know drinks doesn't mean they're trying to commit suicide, and just because they use drugs doesn't mean they're trying to commit suicide. Reckless driving, they could just be an idiot. And unsafe sex, They either want to get pregnant or they're just not very smart or sex and things, but it could also be signs of suicide. So keep an eye out for that. And the 10th sign is sudden sense of calm. This one you guys got to watch out for. A sudden sense of calm and happiness after being extremely depressed can mean that a person has made a decision to commit suicide. So if somebody you know went from being like extremely happy to being extremely depressed, and then all of a sudden they're calm and different, you need to watch out for that, because they could be trying to kill them. They may have made a decision to commit suicide, or yeah. I know, because my mom thought that one time, because I got extremely calm, but I was just kind of, yeah, being an idiot. Okay. Now we're going to move on to prevention tips. And I know this video is really long, so guys, bear with me. I'm sorry. I read my stuff really slow that I wrote down. So, let's move on to prevention tips. Okay. Dun dun dun. Prevention tip number 1. Speak up if you're worried. If that means if you're worried, talk to somebody about it. Like if you're worried somebody's going to do something, there's crisis hotline or therapy or other stuff. Or you could just directly throw it to them. I think. I don't know. Talking to a person about suicide. Ways to start the conversation about suicide are, I have been feeling concerned about you lately. That's the first one. 2, recently I have noticed some difference in you and wondered how you are doing. 3, I wanted to check in with you because you haven't seen yourself lately. Remember those, guys. Questions you can ask. When did you begin feeling like this? Did something happen that made you start feeling this way? How can I best support you right now? And have you thought about getting help? Remember those. What you can say to help, that helps. You are not alone in this. I'm here for you. You may not believe it now, but the way you're feeling will change. I may not be able to understand exactly how you feel, but I care about you and want to help. When you want to give up, tell yourself you will hold off for just another day, hour, minute, whatever you can manage. I just noticed this video is already 7 minutes long, like almost 8 minutes long. I'm so sorry, you guys. Like, I know you're probably like, dude, this girl is really annoying and really boring. But everybody needs something to talk about, and this is something that is recently been a big thing going on, and I think you guys should know about. Okay, back to what I was saying anyway. When talking to a suicidal person, the do's are be yourself, listen, be sympathetic, non-judgmental, patient, calm, and accepting. Offer help, and if the person says things like, I'm so depressed I can't go on, ask the questions. Are you having thoughts of suicide? You are not putting ideas in their head. You are showing that you are concerned, that you take them seriously, and that it's okay to share their pain with you. But don't argue with the suicidal person. And make sure you avoid saying things like, you have so much to live for, your suicide will hurt your family, or look on the bright side. Yeah. Act shocked. Lecture on the value of life, or say that suicide is wrong. Promise confidentiality. That means refuse to be sworn to secrecy, because suicide's not something, if you're somebody you know is thinking about committing suicide, you really don't want to keep that a secret, because it's not cool. Don't offer ways to fix their problems or give advice, or make them feel like they have to justify their suicidal feelings. And don't blame yourself. You can't fix it. Okay. Suicide prevention tip number 2. Respond quickly in a crisis. If a friend or family member tells you that he or she is thinking about death or suicide, it's important to evaluate the immediate danger the person is in. Those at high risk for committing suicide in the near future have a specific suicide plan. That means to carry out the plan, a time set for doing it, and an intention to do it. The following questions can help you assess the immediate risk of suicide. Do you have a suicide plan? Do you have what you need to carry out your plan? Do you know when you would do it? That's the set time. And do you intend to commit suicide? So, remember, ask about the plan, the means, time set, and intention. If a suicide attempt seems immediate, call a local crisis center or dial 911 or take person to the emergency room and remove all guns, knives, weapons, drugs, and potential lethal objects from them or around them. And I repeat, don't leave a suicidal person alone. Prevention tip number 3, offer help and support. Now, you can have them get professional help, follow up on treatment, be proactive, encourage positive lifestyle changes, make a safety plan, remove potential means of suicide, and continue your support over a long haul. Risk factors for suicide are mental illnesses, alcoholism or drug abuse, previous suicide attempts, family history of suicide, terminal illnesses or chronic pain, recent loss or stressful life event, social isolation and loneliness, history of trauma or abuse. Now, as you can tell, this video is really long, but I needed to share it with you guys. Now I'm going to share my own personal experience. Last weekend, on Sunday, or maybe it was, I don't know, over the weekend, on Sunday, I had a meltdown, and I threatened to commit suicide. I said, I want to kill myself. So, with that said, whether or not at the time I actually meant it or not, it's a very serious thing. I almost got 302 and put in the psych ward, which we all know I wouldn't be able to do. They take away your phone and everything. And I'd miss my YouTubers. But just because somebody seems very happy and all the time, like me. I'm a very outgoing person. I'm happy all the time. I love to talk. I talk to everyone. Blah, blah, blah. Doesn't mean there isn't anything wrong. So think about that next time you're talking to a friend. And judging by the fact that you guys are watching this video, I want you guys to remember that this video I made specifically to help you guys. Yeah. And I want to make it very clear that just because you drink a little bit doesn't mean you're suicidal. Because there are people that just drink because it's fun. Some people do drugs just because it's fun. But that doesn't mean they're committing suicide. But it can mean it. So if somebody you know, and wait, what was the other thing I was going to say? I don't know. But and just because they want left alone doesn't mean anything. Because I have days I just want to be left alone. I don't want bothered by anybody. I just have those days. And sometimes, but if somebody you know who's never done drugs before or whatever, hasn't drinking before, starts drinking really heavily or gets really bad into drugs, I want you to make sure everything's okay, because it could mean that they're thinking about suicide. So just keep that in mind. Okay, guys. Well, I have to go meet my therapist. So much fun. Alright, bye!